Join us for the Grand Bahama Port Authority 14th Annual Andre Rogers National Baseball Championship. Live, June 24th to the 26th at the Emera Baseball Complex, Freeport, Grand Bahama. Right here on RTV.
Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, 2 Free National Movement senators sworn in, but first.
Former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham on hand to offer his support for Senators Monique Gomez and Dr. Dwayne Sands. That story straight ahead.
More questions for the staff responsible for referenda.
The Minister of National Security hits back at those who criticized his recent crime statistics. Details straight ahead.
Welcome to our news. I'm Christina McNeil. Thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight, with the Free National Movement Convention just weeks away, former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham remained tight-lipped when asked about speculation that he may make a comeback. Ingraham spoke to reporters this morning at the Senate following the swearing-in ceremony of Senators Dr. Dwayne Sands and Monique Gomez. Dana Smith reports.
Amid questions over whether or not former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham will make a return to frontline politics, Ingraham said today when he has something to say about that, he'll let us know. On the sidelines of the Sands and Gomez swearing-in ceremony at the Senate, Ingraham neither confirmed or denied reports of a possible comeback.
Thank you.
Are you making a return to politics?
When I have a statement to make, I'll tell you. Thank you. Good morning.
What do you think of Ministers' leadership so far?
Have a good morning.
Sands announced last week he's teaming up with Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner to challenge opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis and F&M Deputy Peter Turnquest for leadership of the party. Pressed on his thoughts on the Butler and Sands team, Ingraham remained mum.
When I have a statement to make about the F&M convention and support, you'll know. All right?
Are you making
until then, thank you.
Are you making a return?
Ingraham said as far as he's concerned, the day belongs to Sands and Gomez, and he doesn't want anything he says to take the focus away from them.
But can I talk about what I came here for?
Okay, sure. You'd like to talk about it.
I came here to show my support for Dr. Dwayne Sands and Monique Gomez. As senators, I think they both have great contributions to make to the Bahamas.
The former Prime Minister said Sands is a focused politician who could contribute greatly to the country.
I found him to be a person very focused upon public policy, has very good ideas, hard worker, and someone I think will make a major contribution to political, social, and economic development of the Bahamas.
Ingraham noted Sands served in the Senate when he was Prime Minister. Ingraham had also appointed Sands to serve on the Central Bank Board and as chairman of the Bahamas Mortgage Corporation. Ingraham said he's been asking Minnis for the last 4 years to appoint Sands to the Senate, and he's glad Minnis has finally acceded to that request.
Ever since I gave up the office of Prime Minister after I was defeated, 2 days or 3 days after I've been asking Minnis to do that.
And he has been, I guess.
That's as much influence as I have. Thank you.
Ingraham also expressed confidence in Gomez's ability to serve in the Senate, branding her a good person who will contribute much. He said he also asked Minnis about her.
Gomez in recent times was after there was a vacancy, and she had been considered by them, and I was told that some people wanted her. I also joined in expressing my support.
Ingraham retired from frontline politics in 2012 after the F&M was defeated in the general election. Reporting for Our News, I'm Dana Smith.
Thanks, Dana. Well, our news team asked Dr. Dwayne Sands today if former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham has voiced his support for Sands' bid for party leadership. Sands says although time will tell, he believes Ingraham's support for his position as a senator absolutely extends to his bid for deputy leader of the F&M.
I am hoping that it does, and I think time will tell. But I believe absolutely it does.
Sands says he considers Ingraham to be a political mentor, and he's benefited from his wise counsel over the years.
He has continued to be an important figure in Bahamian politics. And so to have him here this morning for this most historic occasion for me, and I'm sure for Senator Gomez, was a special treat.
Sands says during his time as senator, he will strive to be a voice for Bahamians who are hurting and want to be respected. And for her part, Monique Gomez says she'll spend her tenure at the Senate focusing on education, women's rights, youth, and unemployment. She expressed disappointment in the results of the constitutional referendum, attributing the failure to a feeling of distrust in the government. She also named Ingraham as a mentor and said she's thankful for his support.
I first met the former Prime Minister in 1987, and he gave me the opportunity of working in his firm. And in fact, when he met me, he didn't realize that I was in my final year in law school. And so he said to me, well, if you're interested, you have a job available. And when I completed my education, he was true to his word, and he took me under his wing, and for that I'm eternally grateful.
Well, on the heels of what he called the referendum debacle, one Free National Movement MP is now questioning whether the PLP government deployed special contract workers to the Parliamentary Registration Department to get a leg up on the opposition in the next general election. Vonique Tude reports.
National Security Minister Dr. Bernard Nottage shut down suggestions by Fort Charlotte MP Dr. Andre Rollins that contract workers were planted in the Parliamentary Registration Department to give the Progressive Liberal Party the advantage in the next general election. Rollins raised the question in Parliament last night, asserting his suspicion was aroused by an early concessionary statement that PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts issued on the night of the failed constitutional referendum.
With what transpired in this gender equality referendum, where the chairman was privy to returns before anyone else was privy to them, such that he could make a declaration or a concession on behalf of the government, I want to be reassured that these persons who are contract workers are not providing information to the PLP that will disadvantage any other political parties during the course of this election campaign.
Shortly after 10 p.m. on June 7th, Roberts conceded that the gender equality vote had failed, even though only a handful of results had been released by the Parliamentary Registration Department. However, Nottage made it clear Roberts was not speaking on government's behalf and slammed Rollins for questioning the integrity of parliamentary registration staff.
The chairman of the PLP couldn't be conceding for the government. He's not a member of the government. All right? Anybody who is in a polling station at the time of the count from an election has the capacity to call anybody else. Oh, yeah? My God. And you know, I expect better of you, man. Say what? Do you know you know how elections are held? You know, why do we want to do this? Why do we want to disparage people?
Rollins insisted it was not his intent to disparage anyone, but questioned the qualifications of those contract workers assigned to that department ahead of an election year.
I personally have no confidence in the Parliamentary Registration Department based on what we saw transpire with the gender equality referendum. It was a complete debacle, and I think the suspicions that have arisen ought to be addressed such that the Bahamian people can once again have confidence in the ability of our Parliamentary Registration Department to conduct free and fair elections.
Rollins also asked for an accounting of referendum spending. However, Nottage was unable to provide that information last night. Reporting for our news, I'm Vonique Tude.
Thanks, Vonique. After announcing that crime in the country is down 29% during his budget communication, Minister of National Security Dr. Bernard Nottage hit back at those critics who claimed that Nottage painted a rosy outlook on crime, and the crime figures demonstrate that numbers can lie. Simone Davis has the details.
That's right, Christina. Nottage said he believes his critics attacked him because he did not focus on the country's high murder rate when he announced that crime was down 29%. However, he did acknowledge that crimes such as murders, armed robbery, and rapes are far too high.
The politicians, they blame me, you know. I said the other day that crime was down 29%. They vex because I didn't focus on the murders. Because there are too many murders and too many rapes and too many armed robberies.
Opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis asserted yesterday that Nottage painted a pretty picture of crime and should have focused on the many murders in the country. Minnis said people are more important than numbers. Nottage said he understands Bahamians' crime concerns.
To be me, let me tell you what it's like to be me. To be laying down sleeping, and then you hear your phone ring, and you don't answer the phone. Because there can be some policeman on there telling you what just happened. Yeah. Your dog flea alley, or Woods alley. When I get up in the morning to go to work, see that fella there, Mr. Foxson. He's a doc, and I don't want him to talk to me, because he can tell me what happened last night, and it's not going to be very pleasant. I didn't grow up I grew up on East Street and Lifeboy Street, and we didn't have problems this intense.
Nottage's comments came as he addressed members of the Parole and Probation, Rehabilitation, and Re-Entry Steering Committee as televisions were being donated to the Department of Corrections. The minister also urged the committee to continue to assist the government in tackling crime.
But what's so sad about it is that these young people, about whom we're so concerned, have so much to offer. If they could only be made to believe that they really are somebody. Help them. You know, those of you who are on these committees, help them. Help us.
Reporting for our news, I'm Simone.
Thanks, Simone. Still to come, taking another look at the June 7th referendum. But first,
DNA leader Granville McCartney renews his call for the death penalty. That story coming up in news.
Stay with us.